Reddit. What is the worst secret your so is keeping from you, but that you actually know? So much cheating on here. Anyway, here's one. My wife of 15 years together for 19 has a secret savings account. Her family has some bad luck with marriage, and she was really slow to marry me because she didn't want to be trapped. So she saved up several months worth of living expenses. She hasn't really touched it since, and has never mentioned it to me. It's the only account with statements emailed directly to her, rather than an email we both access. It's absolutely there so that she could, if needed, leave. It's not a fortune by any means, but could keep her afloat for 3-4 months. I tried to gently bring it up once, as a hypothetical, and she flat out denied it, in a doth protest too much kind of way. I told her it would be okay with me either way. Truth is, I really don't mind. It makes her feel better, and we've built a fantastic life together. I know she views it more as an insurance policy than anything else, and figure if we ever really do need the money we'll cross that bridge then. Plus I suppose she's still married to me because she wants to be, not because she has to be. I don't know. She never told me. I know she had a tough time before we met, but she never would discuss it other than she had had an abortion and was scared that it would mean we wouldn't have a child together. We were together 25 years, didn't have a child, and I lost her to bowel cancer 9 years ago. I've been living dead ever since. That's tough, man. It sounds like you had a wonderful life together though, and that is probably all she wanted. I hope you will find some peace yourself. She tells me she has to go poop, but I know she just goes in there to browse IG and FB to get away from me and our crazy butt kids for 15-20 minutes. I know this because I do the same thing. If that's your worst secret that every parent does, then good for you. Broke up a few days ago, but she would send lewd snaps of herself before after showering to her guy friend. One time I was just laying in bed and she went to shower, turned the water on, heard her clothes fall to the floor, then I heard the iPhone camera sound. Didn't think anything of it. Weeks later, similar situation. I walk in to use the restroom and see her camera right as she takes a Snapchat of her just barely not showing her nipples and biting her lip. I couldn't read the name of the recipient, but name had unmistakable images on it and I knew who it for. I just said okay and did my business. She kind of fumbled some sort of excuse, but I just didn't say anything. Broke up the following week for a multitude of reasons, but that definitely didn't help any. I had the exact same situation happen to me with my ex, except I didn't have the balls at the time to break up with her and forgave her multiple times after catching her. She ended up stopping eventually. We got married, lasted a year before I realized I made that decision as a way to lock her down and compete with the other dude. Stupidest thing I've ever done, but boy did I learn some lessons. My girlfriend buys cookies, chocolate, or sweets of some kind and then hides the wrappers. I find them in odd places around the house and car. Everybody knows you hide the wrappers inside the empty milk carton box. People concentrate. Not me, but a friend. My friend dated a co-worker for a while. His girlfriend was starting to become friends with my girlfriend, and at a party, I overheard her drunkenly telling my girlfriend that she'd go to work parties and frequently make out with their other co-workers. Being my best friend, I told him. A couple days later at work he was about to talk to her about it, but before he brought it up, she broke up with him because she wasn't used to someone being this nice to her. She never found out that he knew. She's obviously an idiot. After 5 years, I still catch her touching up her makeup as she's parked outside before she comes in, and she's never mentioned that she does this. Makes me feel bad when I'm already in shorts and a t-shirt. It's so sweet. Instead of telling her just tell her how gorgeous she is. Compliments, both verbal and non-verbal. Sometimes it's just the stunned moment he looks at you, and the little noise from the man you love makes all the effort primping entirely worth it. She told me today she doesn't like double stuffed Oreos and sorry for not telling me sooner. I knew and only bought them because she wouldn't eat all of them. I used to buy ice cream that no one else liked so they wouldn't eat all my dang ice cream. Actually, I still do. Actually, now I want some ice cream. That using the restroom means he's going to poop. He only says that when it's a number 2. Also, he was using my body wash for a month because he liked to smell pretty. God dang right. For Christmas I bought my husband a DVD of a concert he went to. While I'm at work he unwraps it, watches it, then rewraps it before I get home. That's kinda sweet. Almost like a little kid who just can't restrain their Christmas buzz. You know you picked a superb present. Well done. I know he considered leaving me 2 years ago. 10 years together now. He has no idea I know. He had a plane ticket booked and everything. He occasionally buys cookies when I'm at work and eats them all. It's fine. I sometimes eat candy only after he's gone to bed. Guess neither of us like to share our treats. I showed this to my sweet-toothed husband and he laughed nervously. I know that he beats himself up constantly for the things he can't give us. Tonight is our anniversary and we can't do anything because we're broke. He's had our kids all day so I can do homework and has been eating himself alive about the whole situation. What he doesn't know is that I don't care. I'm just happy he's mine. He's a great dad and a great husband. For better or worse, richer or poorer, till death do us part. I hope you tell him. I know that my GF has joined a lawsuit against a certain taxi carpooling company regarding being sexually assaulted by one of their drivers. I know about the assault, but she hasn't told me about the lawsuit. Just saw a message from the lawyer handling her case one day and haven't asked her about it or brought it up. Please wait and let her tell you on her terms. Someone I know found out about the trial I was a part of and told my family before I was ready. It was just another aspect of my life I couldn't control after all my trauma and it really messed with me. My now fiance had my engagement ring hidden for almost 3 years. We picked it out together and he wasn't good at hiding that he bought it. He also wasn't good at hiding it because during one of our moves he hid it in one of my boxes. I told him I knew he had it once he proposed and he was so upset, but it was really cute. He tried so hard to hide it but he really can't keep a secret. This post is a breath of fresh air amongst all these freaking depressing ones. After 20 years together I would love to know he had a secret. He tells me everything. Earlier today he sneezed and pooped his pants. He didn't have to tell me. He just did. There needs to be some secrets. She's cheated on more than she's told me, but she knows my account so let's see if she finds out. She enables a junkie brother she swears she wrote off. He's been in and out of rehab so often they had to replace the door. He's been in and out of rehab so often they had to replace the door. I'm stealing this. I knew what he was going to get me for Christmas in like November last year because he was showing me a list of what he was going to get our friends and I saw my name. He was testing the waters. My wife loves sweet tea. Whenever we go to the store, we always get a gallon of Milos sweet tea. She drinks it so much to the point where I get none. Every so often, I buy 2 gallons of sweet tea, one of the brand she hates, because it tastes bad, and the other of Milos, which I hide from her until the coast is clear, and when she is at work, I pour out the nasty sweet tea, and pour the Milos into that falling, resulting in her never drinking it. Kind of a jerk move but she will not stop drinking all the sweet tea before I get some. She's gonna get a nasty kidney stone if she doesn't slow it down. Happened to me from sweet tea. I know every once in a blue moon he snoops through my computer for something. I'm not sure what he's looking for but it's fine. Sometimes people have insecurity issues. Yeah, sometimes people have this bad feeling and it's easier to let them get it out, especially if you have nothing to hide. He probably was cheated on. I went through the same thing. My ex cheated for the better part of our relationship. I knew about most of it but stuck it out for the kid. At one point she stayed at a friend's house for a few days. No reason why. Couple months later while going in her wallet I notice an ultrasound with date stamps for around the time she was gone. I assumed she had an abortion during that time. I finally worked up the courage to leave that relationship about a year later for many reasons. I have never talked to her about that, and don't ever plan to. But can't help wonder if it could have been mine. Probably not, but you never know. Dude, holy crap, you deserve to be better to yourself. Never allow someone to treat you with such disrespect. No longer myso, but technically never found out I knew, so I guess it's related. My ex cheated on me while I was away from home for a few months. And after about a year of trying to get back to an okay place in our relationship, I found out that at one point during this span of time when we were back in our hometown again, she said she was going to go hang out with some old friends, but went to go see the guy she cheated on me with again. I have no details on what actually happened, but I can't take a wild guess. The sad part is I only found out because she actually asked the person she told me she was going to go see to lie about being there, and I would have never even talked to them to find out otherwise. She basically ratted herself out, but I never told her I found out. It's one of the many reasons I gave up on her entirely. Found out my ex was cheating on me from pretty much the beginning. About 2 years in, I started to notice her getting weird messages from some guy halfway across the world. Snooped a little bit and found out she would routinely ask for nudes, talk about how crappy I am, and would talk about one day meeting up to frick. I confronted her on the issues multiple times, and she promised it was all just a bunch of jokes. A few months later, I noticed she downloaded different apps to chat with this guy and never stopped. But frick you too, Jay. My current told my best friends, and mutual friends of us both, that she was planning on kicking me out of our apartment because she wants to live with one of them, and that she also wants to start dating the other one when she's kicked me out. Thankfully they warned me months back, and so I've been stashing money and preparing to move out myself along with their help. When my husband and I first started dating, he didn't know how to tell me he didn't enroll for college this year, so he would pretend to go to class every day and go hang out with one of his friends. I started to catch on when I noticed a pattern of him always skipping class, or if we were doing something and I remember he was supposed to have class, he would always just say it's cool, I don't need to go. The final straw was when it was midterms and he still hadn't bought any books. I never called him out about it, and after a few months he finally came clean. We didn't fight about it. I said I was disappointed that he didn't think I would understand the situation. He didn't enroll because he was having some family issues, which he didn't want to burden me with because we had only been together a few months. He is a big ball of anxiety, so I knew it wasn't from a malicious place whatsoever. Still together and married and stronger than ever. My boyfriend did this, but halfway through the third semester, I just waited for him to tell me on his own time. Even though it was pretty obvious it's workshop day the rest of the semester, yeah okay. He couldn't handle work and school at the same time, and he still can't, but his field doesn't really require people to have a degree so much as experience. He was a closet alcoholic. I knew when he was drinking. I knew when he was drunk. Even called him out on it from time to time. Never ended good for me, so I stopped. He swears he's sober now, but I don't believe him. He told me he was sober before. Yeah, until I hit bottom and got help. I really didn't think you all could tell I was drinking. Honestly, after 20 years of marriage, if either of us is keeping a secret, it's because we just forgot to tell the other. That's something truly, hilariously beautiful. About 10 years ago, my wife drunkenly made out with a guy friend of hers at a birthday party. I only knew because she left her messaging client open where she confessed it to her best friend. I let it slide because she seemed genuinely upset that she did it and vowed to her friend that it would never happen again. We've been married for over 20 years now, so it hasn't dampened the relationship at all. Now mind you, I never left the two of them together alone again. I'm forgiving, not stupid. She backed my truck out of the garage and smashed the mirror on the door frame. She said someone must have hit it at the grocery store. She backed her car out of the garage and smashed the mirror on the door frame. She said someone passing her got too close and bought just her breaking it. I found the impact marks and glass on the floor both times. She still denies she hit them on the garage doors. He's my ex now, obviously, but we were together for 9 years and he cheated on me for over a year with a coworker. He kept her a secret because she was underage. He was 26, she was 16, almost 17. Once she turned 18, they made it public, but he mentioned her in work stories here and there, and I never thought of it as being anything. Then he started driving me to work and keeping the car, then picking me up, wanted me nowhere near his workplace, put a password on his phone, got texts at odd hours, like 6 AM, while she was waiting on the bus. I left work early and a friend took me to his workplace to meet him instead of him coming to mine to pick me up. Surprise, they left together, hand in hand. several minutes after everyone else exited the building. I had already figured it out at this point, but I stupidly waited for him to come clean instead of calling him out. He wouldn't. He worked as a retail manager and had a keeper box and magnet in our house, so I locked his phone inside while he was in the shower and hid the magnetic key. I made him tell me everything which he knew I already knew before I would unlock his phone. Then I kicked him out. Nice move holding the phone hostage. She texts her ex all day every day, selfies, tells him he misses him. They have movie text dates where they watch the same movie at the same time. They fall asleep on the phone together. Worst for me is they talk crap about me and she refers to me as number 3 as in her third boyfriend. She makes stuff up and will tell him something I did that never happened and they will call me a P and laugh. She hasn't sent nudes yet and never agrees to meet up with him in person although he frequently tries. She will occasionally mention to me, oh my ex is texting me, he's so annoying. Meanwhile she's waiting for me to sleep so she can watch a movie with him. Sucks finding out through our kid's tablet that is synced with her phone. I am still not sure how or when I am going to break it off. Ouch. Yeah, you need to get away from that. Man, good luck. After my car was almost stolen, I installed LoJack on my car and my ex-wife's car for safety reasons. She saw me working on her car and I mentioned a bunch of times that I was putting it in my car as well. I kinda figured she knew what I was doing. When she would go to the gym she was actually at her ex's house. Confronted her about it. She lied through her teeth every time. She was engaged with her abusive ex for a short while before they eventually broke up. Guy I used to work with who's good friends with her ex told me. She never told me. I guess she's embarrassed and I let it go. Never really worried about it. My husband of 15 years was spending a couple of hours reading pedophilic gay pee before coming upstairs to bed. Usually I'd be asleep by then. Reading as in stories of men buggering little boys, or their grandsons, sons or nephews, or the scoutmaster, or the teacher enticing a boy into the barn. Reading is legal, pictures are not. He was very careful. Once I stumbled across it, I had to deal with the shock that our marriage had been a lie. I'd been useful for breeding, nothing else, but I also knew he was in denial about something deep, and that he wasn't going to make good decisions on my behalf, or for his own life, and for our marriage, our sons and our futures. So I put key tracking software onto the computer, with the only justification being that if he spent any money or tried to contact a boy, that I would have to act, while I tried to work out what I was going to do. He never knew that I knew exactly what he was doing and that he lied to my face when I, sympathetically, tried to discuss it. The story is long and sordid and didn't end well. My wife tries to hide her farts by going into the bathroom and sitting on the toilet to do it. She thinks turning on the fan masks the sound, but we have thin walls and I can always hear them loud and clear. She'd be mortified if she found out I know. I think it's hilarious. My son of 4 years gave me his phone to look for some passwords on his notes app so he could log into his school account. I found a note with my name in it and couldn't help myself. He wrote out this dream he had where we had a daughter and started a family together. He was so detailed and seemed so happy. I thought it was so cute that he would want to write and remember this dream. He never told me about it, but I do know he wants kids, especially a daughter. I feel like this was his dream come true dream. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to embarrass him. He's not very emotional. For reference, I am years away from marrying him or having children, lol. This is so pure. My BF loves to look up shoes for good deals and I always browse with him. When it was my birth month he would ask for my size and such and be all curious but would say he's just wondering what the prices are. A box came to my front office and he told me to pick it up since he didn't want the office to be closed before he got home. He always lets me open his packages and so I did with this and saw a pair of shoes in my size. Haha, I taped it up so fast and he came home without a clue. I looked completely surprised the day of my birthday and he was super happy about it, so I just never bring it up. He tells me everything, so this is about as saucy as it gets. Wholesome. Was not married but I found out about it. Found out then GF was bulimic. After living together for a few months I came home, when she was at work, to cook chicken in the oven. I could not find the cooking dish to put the chicken on. I looked everywhere in the kitchen and all around the house. Last place to look was under our bed. I found the tray with crumbs of brownies. I immediately knew what was up. I confronted her right away when she came home and she screamed at me and said it was wrong of me to find out. Also found out she did see. He watches pee without me on his phone in the bathroom before we have sex. I kind of want to talk to him about it and tell him it makes me feel like I don't do it for him. But I think it's more because I just don't care for pee that much. She has guns and MREs buried in the forest, and a couple of locations in the US including Yellowstone. Every 5 years, she takes a road trip with the girls. She also has a false shelf in her app with a shotgun hidden inside. I learned about this because I was watching one of those YouTube videos about secret rooms and hidden furniture and it clicked when I saw the shelves. I checked it and when I opened it, there it was. Then I checked her computer and found nothing. But after snooping around enough, I found a go bag with a revolver, ammo, MREs, medical supplies, a medical stapler, other things, a few paper maps, marking locations. One of those places was nearby enough, 30 miles. I decided to check it myself. It was a buried hard case about 4 feet deep that had a revolver, ammo, and what seems like a bucket of rations, about $400, plus 10 1-ounce silver coins. Everything was vacuum sealed, and I think all the locations have the exact same stuff. Hard to imagine, but all in all there are 7 locations marked. I've never brought it up, but now every once in a while I notice that she has things hidden all over her app. Like I was going to change a light switch that was sort of not working properly, and I find a key in a thin plastic container. I googled around and it's a safety deposit box key for a bank in the middle of nowhere, Michigan. Like what am I supposed to say to her? Are you James Bond's daughter? Jason Bourne's sister? Is Skynet hunting you? She is either very paranoid or the job you think she has is a cover. She said Girl Scout s'more cookies were sold out, but she actually hid them behind the baking supplies because they're on a top shelf in a low cabinet because I'm tall and can't easily see there unless I'm digging for baking supplies. Rare. It's okay, though, because I secretly bought several boxes, too, and put them on top of the kitchen cabinet since she's short and can't see reach. Hiding things down low is something I haven't considered before. Finally, being short pays off. Not together anymore, but she used to pick her nose and wipe the boogers on the underside of the standalone sink that I installed. Every once in a while I would clean the sink and scrape them off and they would reappear. For a while I figured she knew I knew but still did it anyway. Now I think she just genuinely did it without ever thinking about it. That's atrocious, dude. Found out my XO was a predator. The closet alcoholism and addiction wasn't half as a surprise as when he finally assaulted a minor. I know all the disgusting, embarrassing things he did going through puberty, like, all of them. I would like to not know about the noodle incident, but here we are. You can't drop the noodle incident and not be expected to share with the class. That his best friend since college, whose wife just had baby no. 2. Just broke off the emotional affair he was having with a coworker. I'm glad my husband was a good friend. I know he counseled his friend to make the right decision for him and his family, and the friend took his advice and broke it off about a month before the baby was born. I'm hoping it works out for them, and I'm so proud of my husband for being such a solid and stable guy. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.